Hello, my absolutely beautiful Scorpio friends, and welcome to your horoscope for 2023, where Scorpio, the word I really have for you this year that just keeps shooting around your horoscope is support, and making sure that you have the support that you need as some things are shifting and changing in your life. There are shifts and change happening around your financial situation. Are you offloading debt in some ways, or you're having a different relationship to finances, and you just need the support to be able to help you continue to make that transition. But also, we're going to see Pluto move out of this energy of Capricorn, which it has been working in there since 2008. So we're going to see that Pluto is going to make that change of energy, and this is going to bring a whole new focus and direction for you in the areas of your life that have to do with, your home zone, that have to do with your family structure, have to do with your physical housing. So in some way, shape, or form, as we're traveling, everything indicates to me that there are openings for not only success, for you to move forward where you need to in your journey, but also for you to garner and gather the support and make sure you have a network that can support you going forward in what you want to do. Now, the last thing I want to tell you is that I think that this year is very important, Scorpio, for you to be coming up and to be coming out. Not necessarily for some of you it will be, yes, it's time for me to come out and do my business and be a part of that and, show my skills. But for other people, it's really just like you're taking center stage in a different way in your life than maybe you have before. And I was thinking, does this mean you become a grandparent? So now you're really shining in that role, or, are your children a different age? So you're getting to have a different connection with them. What's this space, Scorpio, where it's time to come up and come out? Whatever it is, this year definitely has a lot to offer. Now, of course, we have still got Uranus traveling through the energy of Taurus right across the street for you. And we've still got another eclipse that's going to be happening in your sign. So there are still flux and bursts of energy that will continue to bring change to your table. And we will get into all of that, okay? Now, keep in mind that as we are traveling through 2023 in this forecast, we are going to get deeper into all of these transits as we go through the weekly and the monthly videos together. Here, we're going to get a high-level view of what's coming your direction. So don't worry, you're not going to miss out on anything, but we'll cover it in more detail in the other videos, okay? So right at the beginning of the year in January, as we are coming into 2023, one of the things to keep in mind is, first of all, we are coming in with Mercury, Uranus, and Mars all in retrograde. Now, Mercury and Mars are personal planets. They're closer to us, so we're going to feel their impact a little bit more. But what this is an indicator to us is that, first of all, Mars is one of your ruling planets, so truly it is slowed down your action. You're not going to be able to push. You are not going to be able to force anything forward, especially in your 8th house. So if you do have things going on in your financial life, or you're changing financial strategy, or in your intimate life, right, your connection to another resource, whether that be a partner and their money, or taxes, debt, inheritance, whatever that is for you, we're coming in with Mars retrograde in this space. So whatever's changing and fluctuating here, it's really a time for you to understand you can't force it forward. You can really only have the energy to wrap up and re-strategize what has already been. So I hand that to you straight out of the gate. We are not pushing and forcing anything as we come in. Now, we've also got Mercury retrograde in this energy of Capricorn, and this is lighting up your 3rd house space, okay? So the 3rd house is communications, contracts, decision-making, siblings, people who are in your network. You are learning, you are teaching, you are writing that book. So all things communication are landing in this 3rd house. Now, as Mercury is retrograde here in Capricorn, one of the thoughts that comes to me immediately is, do you have an appropriate network, an appropriate contract, an appropriate relationship with your siblings, whatever it is that is actually helping you to achieve? Capricorn wants to achieve. It wants to build a structure and a foundation that can allow you to be successful. So you may be looking over these kinds of things. And I even think at some level, because Capricorn does like to create structure, you might also be re-looking at your schedule. You know, what is your schedule like? Has it been crazy for a little bit and you really can't achieve with that? But whatever it is, Mercury's retrograde is definitely useful to kind of smooth out some conversation or decisions that need to be made. Most specifically, Scorpio, if we flash back to the beginning of 2022, January 2022, we had Venus retrograde right here in this energy of Capricorn. So truly there was a revaluing of something going on in this third house, and likely it had to do with a prominent relationship in your life or a prominent financial situation. So now as we flash forward to 2023, how is it changing? What decisions are you making to either bring it to a close or to adjust it? We will see Mercury and Mars coming out of retrograde January 12th and January 18th, respectively, okay? So as we get to this March time frame, we are going to see Saturn moving out of this energy of Aquarius and moving into the energy of Pisces. So we've seen Saturn for the last couple years really working on your home zone, your fourth house, home, family, real estate, property, actual structures in your house, things having to do with your parents or being a parent, right? We can even see some of that in here. So whatever you've been working on in these deep foundations or things that have to do even with real estate, Saturn has been leveling you up, helping you come to a maturity, a mastery, you know, bring that home condition to a better state, whatever that needs to look like. And now as we see Saturn moving that energy into Pisces, it's going to begin to light up your fifth house space. This is the house of expression, self-expression, children, play, joy, romance, pleasure, fun lives in this house, right? So we're going to start to have questions in this particular area and begin to make some adjustments. Now, Saturn can be known as that taskmaster, and it can certainly feel like it's a little bit of a heavier energy or a restricting energy, but it is something to consider is that Saturn's weight or how heavy it will feel is determined by how much of a lesson you need to learn in that area. If the foundation in your your fifth house area is not strong, you may have a lot of development to do in this area, and there's nothing wrong with that. It means focus in on the development that you are being pointed to. That is exactly where it takes you, you know, and if it's really been an area that is very strong for you, this can be a time where, you know, you actually get the accolades. Saturn celebrates what's been going on in this area for you. You may be taking more adventures. You may be having more fun. You may be having a different relationship with your children. You know, if you're a sports person, maybe you're taking on a sport and you've always wanted to do that. Whatever it is, remember that in the fifth house is also a place where we take a risk. So I ask you, Scorpio, what have you wanted to take a risk on that can move your life to that next level? Because this is what Saturn is about. Now, also, I very much so think in this fifth house, Scorpio, if you wanted to start a business, this is a fantastic energy to absolutely help you. Now, Saturn moves into the energy of Pisces over here with Neptune, who's also traveling in this Piscean energy as well. So Pisces wants to, or Neptune and Pisces want to kind of dissolve things, but more than anything, it motivates you from the inside out to create a vision, an ideal, right? Where it's like, I would love for this to be this way. And it comes from almost a soul level calling to do something in a certain way. It's the ideal for your life, but it's not tangible. So we have to remember that when we're dealing with this energy here, you've maybe had a vision of what you've wanted in this fifth house. Yes, I want to take the risk and step out there, or yes, I want to connect with my children, or yes, I want to give myself permission to take that vacation, but it's just been an ideal, just a vision. Now, as Saturn slides into this house as well, Saturn wants to create structure. It wants to crystallize your vision. So it goes from this space of just being the intangible to something touchable, tangible. We can use it. Yes, let's build on that dream. Yes, let's build on that vision, right? So Saturn is very much so going to be helping to make a dream come true, to validate something that you have been brewing over here for some time. So take great solace in knowing that as these planets work together, they can be helpful. And what doesn't actually fit the vibration of your vision, or what you are not able to in your skill set in a very tangible way bring to you don't have the skills to bring that vision to reality, Saturn will show you, and you will need to build your skills in that direction, okay? Now, when we get to March 23rd, we're going to see Pluto moving out of this area of Capricorn, which it's been traveling in Capricorn since 2008. So it's really been working on your third house, your communication. Maybe even for some people, I do think for some Scorpios, you know, you'll have to let me know in the comment section down below, but something around the head or something around the way that your brain functions. And I talked about this, you know, earlier in the year in 2022 and definitely in 2021. But this idea of, you know, were you someone who suffered with a TBI, a traumatic brain injury, or what's been going on in the changing condition of literally the way your brain functions? Because as Pluto has been moving here, you've had to adjust your learning patterns, I think, in some way. Now, for other people, it's really been about, what do I even have the mental capacity to take on? You know, and it's been a heavy energy for some. Things having to do with transportation, electronics, education, contracts, making big decisions that will change the course of your life, things with your siblings. There have been big changes in the dealings of this third house energy, and they are setting you up for long-term things that will be in your life, okay? So as we see Pluto move out of this energy of Capricorn and move into the energy of Aquarius on the 23rd, this is going to light up your fourth house space. So now this is where, you know, for the long haul, there are going to be changes to your housing situation, whether that is the physical structure of that house, whether it is the nature of relationships in your house, if it is you are in preparation to have you know, changes come to your house that you've wanted for a long time. Whatever it is, Pluto is going to show up here, but it is also about an unburdening in this fourth house area, in the family zone, in your foundations. So what are you offloading, right? Like, what are you getting rid of? Are you done? Are the children 18 and so you're done in that way, right? Like, you're not raising them at that age anymore? Or, you know, is there something going on? Did you finally finish that bathroom project? What is happening that there is also an unburdening and a releasing of what's not needed in this fourth house area anymore? Now, we are not getting the full meal deal of Pluto being in Aquarius, because Pluto is visiting Aquarius, okay, at this point, because we're going to also see that Pluto is going to retrograde, get back there into the energy of Capricorn. So we're not getting the full Pluto in Aquarius effect. We'll have a lot more of that as we see the influences into 2024. But know that you're getting an absolutely delicious and specific cue as to what you will be working on, okay? Now, when we get to April 20th, we're going to start our eclipse energy, which obviously is going to involve your sign, okay? So on the 20th, first, though, we're going to switch gears and move to a new moon solar eclipse at 29 degrees of Aries. Okay, this is a completely different energy. We're out of the Taurus Scorpio axes for just a minute. Okay, so we're going to move into this Aries energy, which is going to light up your sixth house. This is the house of health, wellness, nutrition, your daily routines, mundane things that you do on a daily basis. So if it's in your work life, it's the coworkers, it's does the copier work, you know, it's these organizational things. It's also a space, though, that I think, first of all, in a work sense, if you needed work, this is helpful to you. If you are a freelance person, this is also an energy that would want to catch your attention. Now, I also like to put small animals into this sixth house arena. So think cats, dogs, gerbils, things like that. We'll leave the horses and other bigger animals to the 12th house area, which we'll look at with that Libra energy. But right here at this eclipse, it is your opportunity for you to look at how efficient you are being on a daily basis. And more than just being efficient, I think that this is also a time for you to really look at the goals that you have, because a 29-degree Aries energy wants to strive for something, and it knows it has the energy and the technique to be able to do it. Now, you may need support here, right? You may need somebody to kind of be your wingman or your mentor to say, here's a way that we can make these day-to-day livings better. This may be a time where a health practitioner has to get involved in your life, and that's the kind of support that you're getting, where you're like, I've done everything I can, I've adjusted my diet, and I'm not sure what's going on. So maybe you need health practitioner help here. Whatever it is, be willing to listen. Scorpio, be willing to listen to the guidance that is being offered to you, because it is absolutely trying to come from a place that maybe challenges the way you would want to do it, but it ultimately informs you of a different way you could be achieving something with a little bit more ease, okay? Now, on May 5th, we're going to have a lunar eclipse that is happening in your sign. So right here at 14 degrees of Scorpio. So right here in the first house, it's our signal that something about you is ending. There's an acknowledgement. There's an adjustment that is happening in this area to your first house, your independence, who you are, how you present yourself, how you regard yourself. And I actually feel like this particular lunar eclipse, being this last one that we're going to have in your sign, is really about you being ready to be who you are. You know what I mean? Being ready for the next adventure of being who you need to be to go on this next adventure. So I actually feel like this particular lunar eclipse is a little bit more about, you know, shedding these last minute things that stop you from really moving forward as the new version of yourself, going on this adventure. But also with all of the changes that are happening and the unburdenings that are available to you, it's like, you know, when you can travel with less baggage, you can travel, right? Like, it's a little bit lighter, it's a little bit more free. So there is a sense of freedom that I think this eclipse brings to your table as well. October 14th, we've got a new moon solar eclipse happening at 21 degrees of Libra. So, of course, this is going to light up that 12th house space. Now, the 12th house is all of the things hidden behind the scenes, how you heal, how you rest, how you recover, how you rejuvenate your spiritual practice. We also see addictions, or if you've got an illness or a syndrome or a condition in some way that is typically unseen until it manifests itself. Think of depression or something like that, right? This would be the time where you're kind of going to ground. And as I said too, we're going to put our bigger animals in here. So the cheetahs, the horses, we're going to put all of those, the cows, we're going to put them in this 12th house arena as well. So now, as you're having this reflection in this 12th house energy with this Libra energy, it's about finding balance, planting your seeds of intention for what you would like to have balance in, where you would like to actually have an interconnection with yourself, your body, your spiritual life, maybe a spiritual practitioner who's guiding you in a way to bring balance, to say you don't have to travel by yourself. You don't have to figure all of these things out by yourself. But I also think that if things again are presenting themselves in your life where you're like, I just am kind of feeling like I'm going in a circle with this, or I feel like I still need some help coming out of hiding, I still need some help tackling this thing that kind of feels like it's my own saboteur showing up, and I need some guidance, take it. Right? Speak your truth out loud, unburden yourself, and allow somebody who's a more expert in what you're trying to do to help you move forward with that. Now, I do also think just Libra is actually very business savvy. So one of the thoughts I was having for you, Scorpio, is this particular eclipse may lead to like you're changing job, or because you're like, there's not enough balance here. I don't like the balance that I have. So you're becoming willing to look for a new job or something like that. So you could even be researching for the next 3 to 6 months where you'd like to take this, okay? Now, the final eclipse we're going to have for the year is October 28th, and it's going to be in the energy of Taurus at 5 degrees. So this lights up your 7th house space, conscious, chosen, one-on-one relationships. Now, whether that be a romantic and personal relationship, you know, even a mentor that's been very, very significant to you, or a business partner, or maybe you're in collaboration. Open enemies live here as well, right? So if you're in a legal battle with someone, you know the person on the other side, you know who they are, but maybe this is a legal or a medical situation you've got going on. But wherever you are at, where you are in a tighter, conscious, chosen relationship with the energy that is across from you, including the relationship, Scorpio, of you with you. How are you treating yourself? How are you valuing yourself? Where is your self-esteem and value showing up, in a way that you can demand your value as you go out in the world, right? So this eclipse is really a fantastic opportunity for you to review the relationships in your life, and also for you to not only review the relationships, but to see if they are relationships that are still valuable to you at this time, or have you outgrown that relationship and it is not an FU, but a like, thank you, we've gone as far as we can go, right? I also want to say too that because Taurus is ruled by Venus, this is helpful to reviewing these particular relationships, okay? This eclipse is also going to be in the same space with Jupiter and Uranus as it's happening. So really, truly, you could be surprised at the changes in relationships that come, but being of that Venus vibration, whatever needs to happen, it might happen with a sense that's a little bit more smooth instead of just a terrible break. So allow the world to surprise and delight you still, okay? Like, make space for the universe to surprise and delight you at how it gets you on track with where you need to go next, and the best relationships aligned to help you get there. Now, we've got another event we want to tackle and cover really quickly, and it is Jupiter moving into the energy of Taurus. So Jupiter is going to run through the energy of Aries. I'm telling you, like, it is going to whip your hair back, okay? So it's going to be running through Aries over here in this 6th house space for you. So it has been busy. So things around health, daily routine, your environment, your schedule, the animals, all of these things have been busy. They've been expanding out. Okay, so you expect that as we're coming into the year, yes, we're coming in slowly, but Jupiter is in Aries, so it's busy. Maybe you've had a lot of work to do, or you've really been looking at your goals and trying to expand and get those in order. Well, as we get to May 17th, we're going to see Jupiter move into that energy of Taurus, lighting up your 7th house area, which we're going to see an eclipse happening, right? Which we've absolutely got Uranus still traveling through here as well. So one of the things you can know is that, first of all, Jupiter expands whatever is there already. So if in your relationships there's some success, it's going to help you continue on making that successful, or even like magnetize that situation so you can really look into it and see the wisdom. If you're struggling in some relationships, it will also likely expand that. But again, it brings that big Jupiterian magnifying glass with it, so that if there is a problem in relationships, you get that magnifying glass out and you can look at it and see what's going on and bring some wisdom to the table. Now, I also just love that Jupiter wants you to expand relationships. So, are you bringing people into your life and it's significant? Are you expanding out professionally? This is fantastic. Jupiter is also the energy of the great teacher. So truly, are you taking on a mentor this year that's going to help you expand? In other areas of the 7th house, are you getting married? Is somebody significant in your life getting married, right? Whatever it is, there is like a mutual happy benefit that can be happening to the joinings that come as Jupiter moves here into this energy of Taurus. Now, before we close out, I want to remind you that even though we will cover all of the retrogrades in more detail in the weeklies and the monthlies, that all of the Mercury retrogrades this year are going to be happening in Earth signs, so very compatible energy with you. But it does bring our attention to the fact that Earth signs live in the material plane, right? They want to touch it, taste it, build it, look at it, fondle it. Like, it just needs to be touchable. It needs to be tangible. So all of the decisions that you're making, conversations that you're having are going to be around tangible things, a lot of resource energy, like it, because if you build it, they will come. And if you need to rebuild it so it stops leaking, it's time to do that. So I want you to keep that in mind as we travel with Mercury, but it's also Mercury retrogrades coming out of air energy. So you've been thinking about, planning about, talking about, maybe even minorly sharing about some things. And now you get to bring them down to earth. It's bringing those ideas out of the clouds and onto the earth. So we'll cover all of that every week, every month, and I absolutely look forward to it. So let me know in the comment section down below, Scorpio, how are these things forming out for you at the beginning of 2023 as you're listening to this and kind of catching the vibration? And then definitely come back and let me know, how did these things play out and manifest for you as we get to the end of 2023, okay? All right, my beautiful Scorpios, I love you. Have a great year.